Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from YourBlackWorld.com, and today I was thinking about some things that I saw in the media recently. I saw that Michael Baisden was going through some stuff with Cumulus Broadcasting. I don't think it's a matter of anybody being a bad guy or a good guy, because these kinds of disputes happen, and Michael's off the air now. And it was really interesting because first I get a press release where he's saying that he's leaving the air, and I saw it kind of as a negotiating tactic. I thought, okay, well maybe he's showing them that he's serious, so they're going to come back and bring him back to the table, and it's all going to work out because he's got a lot going on. He's got enough going on that it didn't make sense to me to walk away from that. But then I read that Cumulus actually locked him out of the studio and said, look, you can't come in. So he didn't even have time to say goodbye or anything else. And I thought that was really interesting. I don't know Michael Baisden that well. I only worked with him one time about 3 years ago on the Heather Ellis case, or actually the Gina 6 thing too. We did a lot of work on the Gina 6, and also the Heather Ellis case, the college students they were going to send to prison for 15 years because she cut in line at Walmart. And Michael was very helpful in both situations, and I have a lot of respect for Michael Baisden. Now, the reason I brought up Michael Baisden today is because I think that this ties into something that Minister Farrakhan and I are going to be discussing Saturday, March 30th, on the south side of Chicago. We're going to be at the Sweet Holy Spirit Church, which is at 8621 South Chicago Avenue. It's called the Sweet Holy Spirit Church, 8621 South Chicago Avenue, at 5 p.m. And basically the forum is called Wealth, Education, Family, and Community, a New Paradigm for Black America. Now, what does Michael Baisden have to do with this? Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you why I respect Michael Baisden. This is why I think he's truly a great man. First thing I noticed when I looked his history up is that Michael began his career actually by working in radio for free. He walked away from a secure job, making decent money, driving trains in Chicago, to selling books out of the trunk of his car, to working on radio for free, and really taking a lot of chances that nobody else would take. And when I talk to other people that I know who've been successful in media, like Roland Martin, Mark Lamont Hill, and others, if you look throughout their history, you'll see that there was a period where they were tremendously stressed by the risk and the struggle that came with pursuing their dream. And so, you really can't get your freedom if you're afraid to run away from the plantation. And unfortunately, many of us are so scared of our dream that we allow our fear to keep us from going after the thing that we want. But the truth of the matter is that if you want big outcomes, you're going to have to make big investments. The fact that he worked for free sets him apart. A lot of people won't do that. A lot of people say, well, I'll write articles or I'll do your radio show if you pay me. And it's interesting because they're thinking short term, when really, if you want to really be successful, you got to think long term. When I started writing for AOL Black Voices, I wrote for AOL Black Voices, I want to say for 6 months, free of charge, because I knew that this was an opportunity for me to begin my career and to build my brand and to start doing the work I wanted to do. Later on, the money came later on, so I think that's the first thing we can learn from Michael Baisden. And this is the kind of thing that Minister Farrakhan and I have discussed at length. I mean, I've met with this brother for a total of 12 hours over the last 3 months. First 3 hours were one-on-one. The other 9 hours were in closed meetings with about 8 other economists talking about economic self-sufficiency and the way we can really free ourselves as a community. If you look around, you see black folks are dealing with skyrocketing unemployment. Nobody will hire you to work for a company that they created. They're going to hire their own people first. Sometimes you may luck out, but the fact is that you can't move into somebody else's house and try to move around the furniture. It just doesn't work like that. Malcolm X told us that years ago. The other thing that I loved about the Baisden negotiation that I think all of us can learn from is this. Michael Baisden was able to negotiate like a man. He wasn't negotiating like a slave. Michael Baisden, from what I understand, before he went into negotiation, he had been saving his money. He had cut down on his expenses. He had been making investments. He had established ownership in multiple entities. He had numerous options before he walked in there. That is what gave him the ability to walk away. And so he walked away as a man, not afraid of the consequences, because he knew he had options. He had wealth. He had ownership. He owned the land on which he stood. And that is what allowed him to negotiate like a man and not negotiate like a little boy. So that's what I'm here to tell all of you. You got to get your economic freedom. I hope you'll come out and join Minister Farrakhan and I on March 30th. Until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated.